believe the shadows are reality because they know nothing but shadows, and they assume that there is nothing. But shadows. The principal obstruction to their awakening is the belief that they feel they're already awake. And one day, by fate or by circumstance, maybe by accident, one individual turns his head around. Plato uses the pronoun he, but it might just as well have been a woman. And as he turns his head around, he sees the dolls going back and forth in front of the fire. And in that moment, he realizes that the shadows are only shadows, and that the suffering is caused by ignorance. And if he's anything like the rest of us, he probably goes back briefly to watching the shadows and suffering. And maybe the experience will not last, but at least now he knows. And he has had this extraordinary moment of consciousness in which he realized that the shadows were shadows. Call it an avatar initiation. And having seen the truth, it will tug at him until he finally walks out of the cave, walks into the sunlight. And we call that going to Wizards. Now, he'd like to stay out in the sunlight for the rest of his life, but he feels an obligation to the fellows who are still suffering, who still believe in the shadows, and who believe there is nothing but shadows. How to enlighten them. If he goes back into the cave and he tries to tell the truth, they won't understand him. They won't believe him. They've never heard the word sunlight. They will feel that he's insane and a troublemaker. And he'll either end up imprisoned in the shadow world or even maybe crucified, because his words about sunlight are meaningless to the people who have only seen cave shadows. The principal obstruction to awakening is the belief that you're already awake. Now, while this statement is quite true, there is within it this sense of being made wrong. You know, what do you mean I'm not awake? It's a threat to the ego. And this is not fertile ground for self-development, self-growth. This is definitely not Diana Ross singing, "Everything is all right, uptight." But eventually, if he survives long enough, Plato's realized being grows smart enough to circumvent the ignorance and the intolerance of the shadow watchers. He does wizards. He gains the ability to understand and manage creation. He operates from the viewpoint of the higher self without needing approval or applause. He simply takes responsibility for transforming these people. He simply takes responsibility for transforming these people, transforming civilization. He learns how to inspire. And he inspires the people who are trapped and suffering in their shadow reality. He learns how to get them to turn around and see the light without making them wrong. Baby, everything is all right. Uptight,